Right, we now move to the putting green, a major part of the game. Obviously, probably the most enjoyable part of the game. If it's all going well, it makes your day, it makes your score. Now, you're often going to see on tour dozens of different styles, but we all have a couple of key things in common. Now, what I want to do is run through those for you, some of my thoughts, and we'll work onto some of the faults and try and cure those. And the simplest way to practice, to build your putting stroke, to start with like a straightforward 6-foot putt, something like uphill, it's hopefully straight. Because what I want to be doing is working on my stroke, hit some solid putts, and obviously I want the feedback, seeing the ball go in the hole a few times to give you some confidence. Now, some of the things that I work on, I believe, very much the stroke is a pendulum action, and it comes from your shoulders. The arms and hands do very little work. They're obviously moving and flexing. We can't hold it all rigid. We can't keep the wrist solid. They've got to have a bit of movement to them. So I want you to try and get the feeling that your shoulders are the dominant factor. So you get this nice pendulum sort of action. Your putting grip's obviously a very personal part of your game, but the one thing I do believe is your hands have got to be united together. Whether you use an overlap in some sort doesn't really matter. The most important thing is that the hands are facing each other. The palms of your hands are pointing towards each other and they work together in one unit. So you can just feel the putter in your hands, but they are working as one. Now, what I often do as an exercise, you see me on the putting green, I putt very much with my right hand. I feel that if I've got that correctly in the right place, put my right palm on there, and that's working correctly towards the hole, I hit a couple of putts, and I feel confident that's in the right position, then I apply my left hand. Then I can then get the feeling if I know that the putter head is working square to my grip.
That's good, Nick. I think the other thing too that a lot of people tend to ask is, how you line up. Well, obviously you need to get the putter face lined up squarely to your target line, and then get your body reasonably parallel, although you personally like to stand a little bit open, as many other top players do, because it's easier to see the line, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a lot of players, I feel as if I'm a right-sided putter now. So I want to get the feeling that this right side is working its way through to the hole. And obviously if I stand square or fractionally shut, I feel as if I'm sort of in a block mode. So there I get the right side high. Again, as you saw, it's very important to get this right hand on in the right position. The right side is a little higher than the left, it feels. And as my stance is a little left, shoulders, but that's important because I can just feel as if I'm getting through the putt better. So there, back and through under the putt. There we go, that's good.
Good, you're really rolling the ball well now. And one of the little tricks that we do at times to make sure you are rolling it well is to actually putt with an iron.
Yeah.
Because if you make a good stroke, you've got a chance then of seeing the ball roll. And this is the key to good putting, be able to get the ball rolling end over end continuously.
Yeah, and the great thing about this little exercise is it really gets you aggressive through the ball. I mean, you can't de-accelerate in any way because it becomes like a little chip. And you're trying to get it right on the center line there. So it's short back and then accelerate through. And if you want to accelerate through an upper fraction, that produces even more top spin. So it's through and up. See if I can line it up. But this is not important to worry about whether you hole it, I should say. I think it's important, obviously, you just work on this feel of back and through, accelerating through the putt. There we go. That keeps the ball rolling and rolling into the hole. There are three very important parts to putting. There's the stroke, there's the direction, and there's the distance. Or we can call it the stroke, the feel of the putt, and reading the greens. Now, we've worked earlier on how to build your stroke. That's why we recommend you work from 6 feet or so, nice straightforward putts, so you can keep firing away on those putts and build some confidence. Now we come to a situation where we've got a breaking putt. We want to learn how to read this, and also we've got to add some feel to it because these are quite quick greens, so there's no good in just picking the wrong line and blasting it away and hoping to get it up there, because that's not going to happen. The mistake a lot of people would make is they would almost they would guess what they feel is the slope, sort of line it up towards the hole and then feel, well, they feel this putt's going from left to right, so they'd aim sort of straight and sort of try and hold it against that, thinking they can hold it up against the putt, up against the break, and you see what happens. And what I want to show you is how what you've got to pick in your putt is the point of apex, the top of the putt, where the power of the putt is ended and then the break takes over. Now, you can't curve the ball. Every putt is actually straight. What you want to do is hit the ball from point A to point B, which is your apex, and have the right feel, the right power, the right distance for it to then break into the hole. So obviously we've read the putt and we feel it's now going to be a good 4 feet left. What I try to do is pick a point on the green and hit it towards that and hope I've got the right break and power, woohoo, to get it right. I'll show you another way what I like to do. I'm going to put a T-peg in the ground. We can do this in practice, obviously. I'm guessing that the ball has got to reach somewhere up here, so I'll put a T-peg there because I'm trying to get the main putt to run here and then break into the hole. And another thing to remember, of course, is that this now is the front of the hole. The ball has gone up high and it's coming down here. You've got to look for a flat spot into the hole. Obviously a ball is going to still be breaking here. You've got to look for where it's coming into the hole flat and smooth. So this is now the front of the hole. Obviously not here in line with the putt because it's coming on this big break. So let me try that and see if that is about the right spot. It's also a great way for helping you to read the greens because, you know, I've made this as my guess. Now obviously if I hit it there and it comes off, then I'm reading the greens correctly. So let's see if it's close. So I'm going to aim at that T-peg and hopefully it will then, and hit it to that T-peg, and then hopefully it will then release through. Yeah, that came out a little low, didn't it? That went a little below that T-peg and obviously finished right at the hole. So I need to get one up a little bit higher. So it looks like that might be pretty close, that T-peg to the point. That was better. That's a little higher, just inside the T-peg, and boom. Exactly what I'm trying to say.